Chapter 11. Plants, Living and Surviving. We will learn terrestrial plants, aquatic plants. Plants are the living organisms. They play a very important role on the earth. They provide food and oxygen to all other living things. Plants are seen almost everywhere. They grow on land, on mountains, in deserts and undersea. We know plants grow mostly from seeds when they get enough water, sunlight and air. The place where a plant species naturally lives and grows is called its habitat. The features that allow a plant to live in a particular place are called adaptations. According to their habitat, plants are classified into two groups. These are terrestrial plants and aquatic plants. Terrestrial plants. Plants growing on land are called terrestrial plants. The natural conditions in which terrestrial plants grow differ from place to place. Plants growing in different conditions have different body features to live comfortably in their natural condition. The terrestrial plants are divided into the following groups. Plants on mountains. Trees growing on mountains and hilly areas do not have much space to spread out. So, they grow tall and thin to trap sunlight. These trees are cone-shaped, having sloping branches so that snow can easily slide off their branches. Instead of flowers, they have cones with seeds inside them and are therefore called conifers. The conifers have needle-like leaves and have a wavy coating to prevent any damage from cold and snow. Pine, fir, cedar, deodar, and spruce are some common examples of conifers. Besides trees, small flowerless plants like ferns, mosses, and lichens also grow on mountains. Fact file. Tea plants also grow on hill slopes which have heavy rainfall. Plants in plains. Trees growing in plains have more space to spread out. These have flat leaves which help water vapor to evaporate and keep the tree cool when the climate is hot. Flat leaves also help to trap a lot of sunlight. Some trees shed their leaves in winter to protect themselves against the cold. As spring approaches, new leaves start growing. Such trees are called deciduous trees. Mango, gulmohar, peepal, banyan, and neem are such trees. In some areas of the plains, the climate is hot and wet. The trees bear leaves throughout the year. Such trees are called evergreen trees. Palm, coconut, and rubber grow in such climate. Coffee, rice, sugarcane, and pepper are some other plants that grow in such places. Most cereal crops, vegetables, and fruits are grown in plains according to the season. In some areas of plains, it rains throughout the year. The plants in such places turn into dense green forest. Such forests are called rainforest. In some areas of plains, there is little rainfall, so there are not many trees or bushes. Large area of land is covered with small trees, grasses, and wild flowers. Such areas are called grasslands. Plants in coastal regions. Plants growing in these regions have deep, long roots and a strong, flexible stem to tolerate strong winds. Their leaves are thick and formed of many long stripes to tolerate strong winds. Plants in marshes. The soil is sticky and clay in marshy regions. Clay holds a lot of water but very little air. The trees that grow here are called mangroves. Mangrove trees have breathing roots which grow above the water. These roots breathe through special paths. Avicennia, black mangrove, and Rhizophora, red mangrove are examples of such plants. Plants in deserts. Days are extremely hot and nights are very cold in deserts. There is hardly any rainfall. Plants growing in these places are called xerophytes. To survive in such harsh climate, desert plants have adapted the following features. Leaves are modified into spines to reduce water loss. To protect their flowers from heat, most cactus plants bloom at night. The stem is green, thick and fleshy, which makes food for the plant, and it also stores water in its thick stem. The roots are spread out wide to absorb water from deep under the soil. Cactus, date palm, babul, kikar and prickly pear are some common desert plants. Non-green plants. Non-green plants like bracket fungi, mushrooms, toadstools and moles do not have chlorophyll. Such plants cannot make their own food and usually absorb food from other plants or dead materials. They are called parasitic plants. Insectivorous plants. It is interesting to know that there are some plants which eat insects. The plants which eat insects are called insectivorous plants. These plants grow in soil which is poor in minerals. Pitcher plant, sundew, and Venus flytrap are insectivorous plants. The hollow leaves of pitcher plants are filled with nectar. Insect comes to feed on this nectar. As it sits on the edge of the pitcher, the lid closes and the insect gets trapped inside. Venus flytrap has two halves of leaves. When an insect sits inside, the two halves close and the insect is trapped.